Welcome to StormyNode.net, a new way of looking at online TV. I hope you've been enjoying the shows. We've been having a lot of fun. I was like, look, man, come on, let's get this kicked in. We are going to get it kicked in. I had no choice to get it kicked in because I got attorney Sam Guy. How you doing, attorney
All
Guy?
right, how you doing, Norm?
Well, you were talking to me off the camera, and you were talking to me a little bit about how you got involved with the NAACP.
Right,
Tell me again.
man, it's pretty interesting. When I was in law school, you know, the story's actually really crazier than that, than what I was relaying to you. Actually, I was at the University of Delaware working on a master's in public administration,
Okay.
and somebody got ignorant with me about dropping a class. Now, whether I drop a class is totally my call.
Right.
And it had some racial overtones. And I said, you know what, if I got to put up with this kind of foolishness to go to grad school, let me go over to law school so I can learn what to do the next time somebody messes with me in an improper
So that's a true
way.
story.
That's a true story, yes.
Wow.
So that's how I got over to law school. And so I went in, enrolled real fast, because that was like in September. By January, I was in the spring admit program at the law school, that quick. And they only let about 25 people in January. So I get there, I'm in law school, and I'm there for me, because folks had been disrespectful. And I said, never again will that happen. I'm gonna know what to do.
Never knew that.
So then I'm reading this book that was on the shelf that came out, and it was a book that told how the NAACP lawyers across the country, Lou Redding and all the rest of the heroes, Thurgood Marshall, Houston, how they strategized to bring about change in America. And I said, wow, this law thing is powerful, because I really didn't know anything about law. I'd been a chemist and mathematician. So I said to myself, okay, so my reason for being in law school changed. I went there because somebody kind of offended me, but then after I read this book, I realized how much this could impact us as a people. So I was like, okay. So I went through law school learning everything I could learn so I could figure out how to apply it for my people to have their freedom and get treated right. So I come out of law school and I become a member of the Delaware Bar, and lawyers are supposed to be involved in something that's beneficial to the community. So I said, well, shoot, let me go down to the NAACP office. So I showed up at their office and said, well, I'm a new member of the bar. I'd like to be an attorney, help out.
And they were like, come on.
No, well, I mean, they were like, come on, but they looking, wondering what's going on, because
Right.
for the most part, other than, you know,
You're a young guy.
not a whole lot of lawyers since back in the day really help out with the NAACP, because we live in a society where the people who run this society want to harass and act in a negative way toward any black lawyer that's trying to help black people become free. We're welcome to be sellouts, but we're not welcome to try to look out for the community.
Explain that.
I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, the power of the law is really a power that's exercised by the people who run everything. They control that whole system. So if you get allowed to be part of that system, there's an expectation that you won't use that system against itself. So that's why, if you really notice, there's not a lot of young lawyers who help out with organizations like the NAACP, because that's frowned upon, and people will basically try to destroy your career. They'll try to destroy you if you try to help get black people free. That's how things are here. I mean, you saw how the guy who was going to be the head of the Civil Rights Division for the United States Department of Justice, they basically said, oh, you used to help out with civil rights issues, so we're going to vote you down. Well, in America, white lawyers don't get denied opportunities because of the people they represent, but black lawyers always have been harassed for helping out with civil rights issues. That's a tradition of America.
You know, you've been speaking out lately, even as it relates to Democrat and Republican and causes like that. I mean, I think a lot of people in the minority community's frustration level has been spilling over, and you've just been going raw with it. Why?
Well, the thing about it is, I actually don't see anything different today than I've been saying all my career. So it's not like a surprise. It's maybe a surprise to some other folks
Right.
who haven't seen it. Because, I mean, if you take something like the News Journal, the local newspaper, back in the day, they used to repeat everything I said. Now they make sure that they don't repeat anything that I say. So a lot of times people think I'm not saying anything, right? But that's not true. I've been talking and saying what I say on television for years. I've been on television, I mean, long time. And I write things quite often. So it really just becomes a issue of how people, whether people get to hear what you're saying. And actually, in this new world that we live in, what you're doing right here, this just becomes an additional mechanism for voices that folks try to stifle to be heard. So I really have to commend you for doing this kind of thing.
What frustrates you now? I mean, are you frustrated?
Well, I don't know if frustrated is the word because I'm an attorney, and so
But
when
you-
you're an attorney,
Let me reword that because what I'm saying is you've achieved a lot. If I could be painfully honest to people who are watching, attorney, a politician, I mean, county executive office, your own law firm. I mean, you have several different degrees, masters, legal, and it seems like sometimes you're like, wow, I still don't figure this out. I'm still mad about something. Am I right?
Yeah, it's not that I'm mad. I can
Talk
really
to me.
encapsulate how I feel
Okay.
about things. The Lord has blessed me in so many ways. All I can do is be thankful. And one of the ways that I've been thankful all my life is that I've always sought to learn and learn more because I've always believed that if you're going to be a person trying to lead people to freedom, then you have to stay up to date on what's going on in a wide range of areas. So I've learned a lot, but I've learned it for us so that I could help my community get their freedom and have the opportunities like I've had, okay? Because I've kind of, in some sense, muscled my way into some things. If a person, school's crazy enough to allow me to get admitted to their school, then I knock their courses out and take their degree from them. It's not like I'm welcome at these educational institutions. I'm a black man too. And so folks don't just welcome you with open arms and facilitate you getting degrees. You gotta, in some sense, decide you're gonna get this degree and do what you gotta do and take it. And so what frustrates me as a person who's prepared and a person whose heart is in the right place, that as I go back and I look at old things that I've written or positions that I've taken, and I look at, sometimes I'll see historical documents in government files when I'm looking up something else, things I said, and it's kind of like all of the dirty, rotten stuff that we see right now, the ills in our community. It's like I'm trying to get people as a knowledgeable person to address certain things with solutions in the past. And so, I mean, like 20-some years ago, I brought the national NAACP to come in and help protect our children. Most people don't know this. They filed in the court case, back in the DSEG case, and there were some people in Delaware that didn't want them to be here and, asked them, would they please leave? And I'm talking about black people.
For real?
And so our black children, the court ruled against our children. We lost that fight. But I brought people here to help us win that fight, but we had black people who asked the NAACP, no, we don't need your help in fighting for our children. So what I'm saying to you is at the time, a critical need, I had an ability to bring in the heavyweight champion of the world to help protect our children. And the people here didn't want the help. So now, look at our children now, 15, 20 years later. We have all these generations of kids that are educationally suffering through the neglect of these school districts. But when it was time for the major fight, so when I hear people criticizing NAACP, what do? NAACP is an organization. It's the people and the members who bring it to life. And the NAACP has been here for black people in America, including me and everybody else, when other folks were sleeping, the NAACP is working for our freedom. So when I hear people talking bad about the NAACP, what they need to do is realize that they need to talk to themselves and ask, well, are you a member? Are you volunteering? So I did those things. I helped out. Yeah, I helped out. So I took positions.
Let me ask you, I'm going to go back for 1 second, right? Because I know a lot of people who are watching know you, but I'm not sure they really know. Tell me about some of your degrees. I mean, I got lost a couple of times. I know you had BA from Del State or wherever.
Yeah, well, at the core, I went to the Naval Academy first. Then I went to Delaware State University. So I received my bachelor's in chemistry and mathematics from Delaware State University. I encourage everybody I ever meet to get a math degree, if you can. And the only reason I say that is because what a math degree does is it's like this. If you get a math degree, you can be anything. I don't believe in things that reduce what you can be, that narrow you in. I believe in things that open you up. If you have a math degree, you could go get a master's degree in finance, because all finance is the application of math. If you have a math degree, you can go be a doctor. If you have a math degree, yeah. But if you have a math degree, you can go be a lawyer, because all being a lawyer is applying concepts of mathematics, only you're using words. So you have more flexibility with law than math. In math, 2 + 2 is 4. In law, 2 + 2 is whatever I can convince you that it is. That's right. So if I can convince the jury that 2 + 2 is 10, then it's 10.
Interesting. Never thought of that concept.
That's right. So.
Okay. Did you want to say something?
Well, after my bachelor's in chemistry and mathematics, I have an MBA, triple majored in corporate finance, applied economics, and marketing. Then I have my MPA, Master's in Public Administration, and a double majored, state and local government and fiscal and resource management. Then I have a Master's of Instruction in Educational Technology and a Master's in Educational Leadership. And then I have my law degree.
Wow. I tell you this incredible person. Let me go back one thing, because I don't want to miss this. I think that it's critical to what we're talking about. We should talk about young black lawyers not joining organizations like NAACP or some of those other organizations that are on the forefront, unlike some lawyers back in the day. Explain to me why you think that is. Because we have more black lawyers now in the state than we ever had before in the history of our state, right?
Right. It's the societal pressures. I mean, people watch.
But
people
why
make
would
sense.
that be pressure to do the right thing?
What I'm saying to you is that that's what it is. Listen, young people see what happens. Young people think young people don't pay attention. Every young black lawyer in America saw a guy who should have been appointed and confirmed for a position. This guy spent his whole career as an attorney, and now he had an opportunity for the President of the United States to make him the #2 guy in civil rights at the U.S. Department of Justice. And the people in the majority said, oh, you have a history of fighting for people's civil rights, and we don't like who you represented, and so we're going to vote in the Senate to deny you this position. Well, if you're a young person right now in law school, you lived and you saw this happen. Do you think that that person's going to rush and say, well, I'm not going to go and help anybody that the people in power don't allow me to go help? People will cave into that because they're looking at their future. I don't care. Really, I don't care. I've been denied a lot of things. There's a lot of things I should have had an opportunity to do that I've been denied, but I'm not upset about that because my job is to help my people be free. I help everybody, no matter what their race, creed, or color, but I have a particular obligation to help my people get free because my people fought for the opportunity for me to do almost everything that I do. I'm just a guy who was lucky and stepped into the opportunities and took advantage of as many of them as I could. And so whatever pain or discomfort that I get in trying to help out, that's nothing, because back in the day they lynched black people. So I don't understand young people nowadays kind of being scared, or even people in my generation being scared. It's a different kind of lynching, but the physical lynching ends it all. So I've been lynched 1,000 times, but I haven't been physically lynched.
Wow, thank you, man. Thank you, Sam. Hey, Sam, do you, if you could tell people if they want to get in contact with you, how could they get in contact with you?
Probably the best way is sguy41@comcast.net.
Is that the number 4?
That's the yes, SGUY, and then it's the digits 41@comcast.net. That's the best way.
I want to thank Sam Guy for joining me. Sam's been a friend, and he was an athlete. People don't know that he can play some ball. Thanks, Sam.
All right.
Thanks for taking time.
My pleasure.